I'm Connor Link, editor of NBJ, and I'm here at the NBJ Summit with George Pontiakos, CEO of BI Nutraceuticals. And George, we were having a conversation about consolidation within the industry. So tell me what you're seeing out there.
Well, I think that the industry has become a very legitimate investment platform for many of the classic investors out there, from private banks to large multinationals. The industry has legitimized itself with providing value to the consumer base, and it scales across many different sales channels, from mass market to multi-level to niche to whole food type outlets and retail outlets. So you're starting to see a lot more legitimate, strong, big investment coming into this industry and consolidating and ramping and growing.
It's not snake oil anymore?
Oh, I don't think it ever was. I think that most of the consumers out there are long-term consumers of the product. They understand the method of action, they understand what it does for them, they appreciate that, and they derive a lot of benefit from it. So from that perspective, if you are looking at an investment opportunity or a vehicle to make money work for you, what better place than the nutrascience market?
And you think now that people, used to be that your blue chip was pharma, do you think people are more distrustful of pharma now, and they're looking back towards an increasing?
I don't think it's a distrust. I think it's a return on equity, right? I mean, everybody needs to make some. You have a lot of cash in the market. You really can't invest in the stock market. I mean, that's becoming between Barclays and between all of these lawsuits, Peregrine, the custody closer guys. You really can't trust the market now. So you really have to invest in solid businesses that can affect returns. And if you take a look at the health market, the nutrascience marketplace, it's a great opportunity to get good return on your capital.
Is there any sort of deal that happened this past year or last year that you thought was especially interesting?
I thought Carlyle's entry with the purchase of Nature's Bounty was really a watermark for this industry. If you take a look at Procter & Gamble and the procurement at New Chapter, and there's a lot of private equity interest. I mean, we're getting calls constantly from private equity groups in terms of interest in our acquisition model, and in whether or not we're interested. I'm sure everybody else in the industry is as well, and that's a very good sign. I mean, the more capital that comes into the market, the more you're able to force multiply your growth, and I think it also brings a level of maturity expectation into deliverables on the financial side that we really didn't have before in a lot of companies.
Is this sort of across the board, this interest? Is it in supply? Is it in manufacturing, finished goods?
I think it's certainly on the contract manufacturing side. You're starting to see a lot more PE interest in there. On the finished goods side, on the label side, a lot more. You're starting to see a lot more interest in the commodity sourcing, processing aspect of it as well. These are all solid cash flow, strong businesses that are supporting a growth market. It's a great place to be in this economy.
Any product categories you think are places where investors are looking, or is it just sort of the space in general?
I think it's certainly on the mass market side they're more comfortable. I mean, the classic legacy private investment component is really going to be looking at stuff that they're used to: mass market, niche market, retail, products that service that area. Although you are starting to see some come into the multi-level side of the business too, because that's a real strong cash flow business.
I've heard, though, that the multi-level business is a tough one to invest in often because of the way that multi-levels are set up. It's a corporate culture that doesn't respond well to being acquired.
I don't know if I agree with that. The whole challenge with any investment is the leadership that you're acquiring. And that's the basis for everything. Anybody can do a B model business school evaluation of a balance sheet, but it's really you're buying the leadership, the vision, the sense of urgency, the execution, and irrespective of whether it's MLM or retail, you better have the right leadership in there to drive that investment, or it's going to fail no matter what market it's in.
George, what are you most excited about for this year's NBJ Summit?
Yeah, it's been a really good summit. I thought that the platform and the program was really good. A lot of the speakers, it's always a high caliber event. I always view this event as the Davos of the industry, where a lot of the senior level executives can come together and basically just chat about the industry, where it's going, and in a very cordial, social manner, which you don't normally get in the industry.
And the journal itself, what are you excited to see in the pages of NBJ?
There's a lot of opinions there that you don't normally get to see out in the industry at the senior level and at the peer level. So it's always good to see and understand where your competition and your customers' leadership is thinking, and that's really what's important to me.
Okay, great. George, thank you so much for
Oh,
talking
it's
to me
always a
today.
pleasure.
George Pontiakos, BI Nutraceuticals.